Milestones that were unclaimable this weekend look like they're now working again. Spider Weaver, she's losing charges faster than ever, and the community's wondering, is this another bug in Marvel Strike Force, or has Scopely nerfed Spider Weaver as a reaction to his 4,000 free Spider Weaver shards? And start saving your power cores now if you haven't already started doing so. There's a big event coming up for Absorbing Man this week. We're talking about all of these items and a lot more because it is Mailbag Monday, so we're digging into your questions from Discord Valley Club. And if you're ready for all of that, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. We're talking all about Marvel Strike Force in this video. If this is your first time here, we talk about Marvel Strike Force on this channel. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button for all the latest question and answer videos, news videos, gameplay, everything that helps with Marvel Strike Force experience. And this morning, I did upload a tournament that I did in jiu-jitsu. So if you want some of that as I compete in jiu-jitsu and as I do tournaments, I'll upload those matches with some commentary. So if that is your thing as well, subscribe for that as well. But we're talking about Marvel Strike Force in this video, and there were some milestones this weekend that weren't working. We're gonna talk about those. We're gonna talk about other bugs that were fixed. We're talking about milestones in the game that you need to start saving for. And of course, it is Monday, so we're going to all of your questions from the mailbag. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody that left a question there. But first, let's talk about these bugs that were fixed. The Super Patriot leaderboard, not the event that's going on right now, but the event that happened over this weekend. It looked like the leaderboards were not able to claim. Some people were not receiving the correct score. Well, it looks like this issue has been solved over the weekend from February 4th. The leaderboard is correct, and the team over at Scopely, they apologize for any confusion. All right, next. So it should be working there. Hopefully all your leaderboards are working. I had reports that there were other leaderboards and milestones still unclaimable. I'm thinking as of this message, though, all of those milestones were claimable, all those items in the game. All right, next. This was announced on Friday, so we did cover this, but it looks like update 6.7.1 is live right now. So if you haven't already downloaded this update, which the big thing that it fixes is red stars not showing up in your account. If you had a red stars, it wouldn't show in the character unless you had the red stars to match. There's other visual bugs going on with red stars. This update should correct those visual bugs and some other things, including the find button and trait restrictions on certain nodes. So download that. That should be in your app store as well. And another note, we have this Crushers of Hero event coming up on February 9th. We're gonna need to do Alliance War Battle, so start saving your war attacks. Raid, so start saving your free raid health or your free raid energy so you can do more raid attacks, because it's all about playing more raid attacks. And then spending power cores, so start saving your power cores now, guys, because this is what it's gonna unlock Absorbing Man character shards. Very important character on this Masters of Evil team. Very important team if you're into Cosmic Crucible. They don't really work too well outside of that. Hopefully they're getting some reworks to make them a little more viable in other game modes. But as of right now, Masters of Evil kind of suck outside of Cosmic Crucible, but they are needed for a legendary unlock. So for all of these Masters of Evil characters, you want to get as many gold stars on these characters as possible so that when a legendary eventually does roll around, you better unlock them on the first go. But let's talk about these events going on right now. First is this Trial of Strength that still ended. I'm getting reports there's some issues with some cheaters in the leaderboards. I can't tell which ones are legit and what's are cheating, but hopefully if there are cheaters on this leaderboard, then hopefully they get solved very, very quickly. Other thing I want to talk about is Spider Weaver. Now there's reports that she's losing charges very, very fast. That it wasn't doing this previously. Players are telling me that even on characters' passive action is still removing charges from Weaver, and that is not how this is supposed to work. So how this is supposed to work here, when this character has charged, lower accuracy by 100% for all enemies, and most characters accuracy is set at 100, so removing their accuracy will effectively make them miss. Some characters, their accuracy is a lot higher, so still removing this 100% accuracy, they'll still get hits. unavoidable attacks will still hit. But what's supposed to be happening when the enemy misses, lose 1 charge, not when passive actions go off and everything like that. Now, I am hearing that it is working correctly in raids, which leads me to think that this is more of a bug than something going on specifically in arena. But I have asked the devs on the Envoy chat for clarification if this was something intentional or if this was something bugged, and they still haven't got back to me. So stay tuned for the channel, stay tuned on social media. We'll be discussing it there as soon as I get an answer for you guys. But let's talk about your questions for the mailbag, guys. We have a bunch of them, and I wanna give a big shout out to everybody that left a question for this mailbag video. Valley started back again a few months ago. The only mutant team I have built is the Uncanny X-Men. After my hiatus, there are so many X-Men teams, so I'm wondering if the Astonishing X-Men, Forge, Jubilee, Kitty Pryde, Beast, I'm guessing that's supposed to be Bishop, but the Astonishing X-Men team is worth leveling up 4 raids, or stop focusing on them and focus on Death Seed. Well, the Astonishing X-Men team with Jubilee and Beast and those characters, they're still an okay team, but they're not the best raid team. And because we have these new raids, these new Doom raids that has separate out traits, well, if you're doing an older team in that same trait, you're kind of wasting resources. So I would focus, if you can, if you have Archangel unlocked, if you have Magneto unlocked, focus all of your efforts on the Death Seed team, because Death Seed team is the new mutant raid team right now. If you want to still build Astonishing X-Men for backup teams in war, maybe a backup team for defense in Cosmic Crucible or something like that. That's what I would build them for, but I wouldn't build them as my primary raid team because they are the last mutant raid team. They're not the current mutant raid team, and that is Death Seed. So if you have the resources, stop focusing on Astonishing X-Men right now and start focusing on your Death Seed. You will need to build up your Death Seed anyway if you're planning to unlock Apocalypse sometime, so that's the way to go. Hey Valley, do you know if there's a tracker out there to help us manage resources for leveling up required characters for Apocalypse? I'm picturing an Excel sheet like we've had for Dark Dimension 5 prep. Any help would be great. And I think there is an answer down below, but I did want to point out this tracker that Dorky Dad sent me. He mentioned it on this past news video. It's actually not from Dorky Dad though. It's created by Verondius Bacon and edited by Dacier. They're the ones that made this, but Dorky Dad is the one that shared this with me. And here you can see you have a bunch of different options here for your characters. As we scroll this way, you can see your Darkhold characters here, your Death Seed characters here. I'm gonna put a link down below in the description, but as you can see here, if you wanna just go to it yourself, tinyurl.com/apoc planner. That is the URL, but the link, like I said, will be down below. And thanks to Verondius Bacon, Dacier for editing this, and Dorky Dad for sharing this with me and the rest of the community. So that is it. I hope it helps you, brother. Let's move on to the next question. It has been a while since my last post, and this is more of a suggestion than questions. However, as you're an Envoy, your input is more likely to be heard than mine. I'm not sure about that. I guess so, because we could tag them, and I'm not sure how many tags they answer, but it doesn't seem like the Envoys get answered, you know, on a regular basis. It's kind of some questions get answered, some don't. I was pondering the way war attacks penalize alliances for being efficient at times can force a team to choose between maximizing event scores and winning a war. Yeah, this has been a problem for a while. This has been mentioned in the Envoy chat for a while, this specific problem. This seems to be a poorly conceived system. In my current war, we cleared the opposing carrier with 2 free attacks outstanding. Consequently, every player in my alliance will miss out on that last 2,000 event points due to unusable attacks. Yeah, and this is kind of silly, right? For those high-end war alliances, you're either doing this less efficient than you normally would, or you just don't do the event, or you know, you're not getting as many points for the event. For some of the lower level alliances, I think it's fine, but I think you're probably in a very high level alliance that are very, very efficient, that this is an issue. And I like this. I never heard this solution before, but I like this. I propose a small change that will allow alliance to be efficient without sacrificing points. When an opposing character is cleared, a new room should open up with infinite mode. This can be either a simple team like Shield or a more difficult meta team. Attacks on this node will not yield any points for the war, but will register as attack for events. This will allow alliances to play to win without sacrificing events points. Yeah, and I think this is a good solution. Now, this may screw with some of the leaderboards and the war MVP and everything if you could just keep attacking and attacking over and over again. I guess you would still be limited to those 14 attacks though, but This may screw the war MVP, but I think that is a very minor thing. That's kind of a visual thing. There's no added rewards for being the MVP. You're just getting a little tally on your in your I guess, what is it, your game stats. So yeah, you're losing out on that a little bit with this, but I think the bigger thing is that you'll still be able to win the war and you'll still be able to do these events efficiently at the sacrifice of maybe screwing with the MVP, which I don't think is that big of a thing. So I like this solution. I'm going to post this in the Envoy chat as soon as it's done. I think this is awesome compromise that will let high-level alliances still be efficient, still try to win the war. And then later, if they want to be more efficient for these events, they can start to do that stuff. So this is an awesome solution. I've never heard this before. So good stuff there. BKNet, someone put a link in Dorky. That's general talk of the channel spreadsheet created. Thank you. So I will post a link to that exact same sheet of that spreadsheet there. Yeah. So awesome. Awesome. Thanks to everybody that's posting those. Hoarding rewards for the latest Red Star Blitz and Orb events as directed by one of the content creators I follow. But following server maintenance, I lost everything. Is that by design? I don't think that is by design. And the reason I say that, if we go into the events right now, as we go back into the game here and check out these old blitzes here, with these old blitzes, now what I should have done is go to these rewards here. These milestone rewards, there's a lot of great blitz credits here. I should have saved them for the current blitz, because even after this blitz is done, you can still claim these milestone rewards. You're still able to claim these here. That's how it should be. So if they're gone, that is probably a bug, although sometimes with Scopely you never know. Yeah, so these, you can still come in here and hit that claim button even after it's gone. As long as it's still here, that's showing up in the blitz, you can still claim those these rewards here that showed up there. As you can see, I already claimed them here, but yeah, if I didn't claim them there, you could go back and claim it at that point. So I do think it's a bug. I would report this bug if it happened to me. I would say, hey, I lost all my stuff when the server came down. It sucks that the devs don't like automatically look at this stuff or, you know, avoid bugs, but I would write in and tell them the stuff you lost, and hopefully they can make you whole. You know, I've always recommended, if you're going to customer service, sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a bad one. It's all in that individual customer service rep. So if you get a bad response, just close the ticket, open a new one, and say, hey, this happened to me. I didn't get a full solution of this. I'm wondering if you could help, or something like that. Hopefully they can still help you. I was wondering, who should I take to level 95? I was thinking my skill raid team or my arena team. Currently in Doom 3.5, the first and second node are not the problems. It is the boss node. If someone attacks before me, Maria and Sharon always get deleted. Want to know your thoughts. So the order that I put these game modes in has been for a while arena, because that is where you get the power core. So for me, making sure that I have a solid arena attack team is very important. Defense doesn't matter as much, because it pretty much, there's a counter to every defensive team out there in arena. So put whatever you want on defense, put a strong team on defense, just leave it. Don't worry about it too much. But offense, you want to make sure you have a solid team or solid teams that could beat whatever is in the arena meta defense right now. So that's where I'd focus on first. If your arena team is good, then I would start to focus on my raids. It sounds like you're in a Doom 3.5, and since you're focusing on skill, you're probably on the left side like I am, which is the first few nodes. And if that is the case, and you're having trouble with it, you know, if you're Maria and Sharon always get deleted, if someone goes in before you on that boss node, that's probably where I would spend my focus. I usually spend my focus on raid teams on the current lane that I could get to. And if skill is the one that I'm having trouble with, I mean, I can't get to the next section, which in this case would be the bio section. So I'd focus first on my skill. Then if bio is giving me trouble, I would start to focus on bio. And at this point, it's probably not worth investing in your web warriors. Gamma is still worth investing in because of the horseman team. But if you have the resources, I'd probably invest in rebirth at that time. Then I would go to bionic avengers for tech, because that's the way the lanes work. Then my mystic teams, and then finally mutants. And that's how I'd build up my raid teams, just going on whatever section I'm at, making sure I could beat that section, and then try to get a little further in the next section, and until I could fully beat the raid. So that's how I would go. And then Crucible, I think, is a very important game mode, so I'll start to spend some resources on there, and then spend resources on war, and after that, it doesn't matter. Just do teams for fun. So that's how I've always valued these teams, so hopefully that helps you. In this case, and I think it's going to be a different answer for everybody, but in your particular case, running into your problem with Maria and Sharon, I would level up those two characters first. It may not make a huge difference, because going from 90 to 95, it may not increase their health and their armor and their resistance and all that stuff as much as the enemies are increasing in Doom 3.5. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully you've built up those characters, and hopefully it helps you get through that skill section, my brother. All right, hello Valley, greetings from Singapore. Do you think that Scopely is playing to your image of being incompetent? Seems to be rather obvious with the recent bugs. So I guess I don't think it's in their best interest to play into that. I think if they're doing that, I think it's an accident, but I think it's kind of amusing that that's kind of the reputation that they have with the community, and because they're doing so many bugs, we get this question. So yeah, this Scopely needs to improve their act. But let's go through these questions. Firstly, with a free claim bug, where they swap the usual meta currency with the outdated currency, claiming it will not lead to gaining points for the monthly milestones. So yes, they did that. If you go to your free claim rewards and you claim those, there's usually the event currency, the month-long milestone currency, and then an orb, and then when you go into your inbox, there's usually just that orb, because they're just adding that as soon as you get that in your inbox. Initially, they make the meta currency auto claim for the milestone before swapping the currency to outdated ones will be less obvious. Then the players discover needed towards the end of that event and spend more money to clear the milestones. So I believe it was a bug. I believe it was corrected, and I believe when they sent the outdated currency, it actually applied to the current event. I could be wrong on that. That's what I saw. I didn't do too much research into that, but again, I don't think it's in their best interest to have these bugs. I don't think it's best interest for them to do these bugs on purpose. I think they're just, they don't check. It's not been something that's important to them. The double checking of the work. So I think this is kind of what happens, and then it gets this reputation of their players that they're doing these bugs. But I think this first one that you mentioned was corrected, brother. Secondly, the red star bug, where they remove our ability to see red stars in the game and having to sync our rosters with msf.gg to review our red stars. That way more folks will visit the website, which is what they wanted. And it comes down to the right time with rebranding their website to marvelstrikeforce.com. Again, they did fix this with that new client. I think they're just bad. I think a lot of the conspiracy theories that they're doing a lot of this 4D chess and play this next level game and trying to scam the consumers. I don't think they do their jobs well. I think they create a lot of bugs. They have a bad quality assurance, and a lot of these bugs go through the issues. And I don't think that they would do this stuff on purpose. It is a fun conspiracy theory though, but yeah, they added these back with a new client there. Also, they claim it's a client-side issue, so notice that any benefits to the players affects Scopely's profit is a server-side issues, gets fixed immediately, sometimes within 20 minutes. However, any bugs that affects the players negatively does not affect Scopely as a client-side issue. It takes ages to fix, like the search gear function. Yeah, so they did say that the ones that are on the clients or the client side, which is the game that we have to download, it take a little while because a lot of times it needs a new client to fix those errors. But things that are on the server side, which are on their side, which is when we communicate to their Marvel Strike Force Scopely servers, those things can be fixed rather quickly because the error is on their side. They've said that in the past, and it does seem like, yeah, and whenever it's an error in the player's favor, it's something that's going to take a long time to fix, or it's fixed very quickly. So it's a server side error. But when it's an error benefiting us, those errors take a long time, or it's negatively affecting us, they take a long time to fix. And I would say that's generally true. There are some exceptions though to make me think that legitimately is what they say. But yeah, a lot of times it does seem like that. Yeah, but I don't think they're doing a lot of stuff on purpose. I just think they don't check their work. I think they don't do good with checking things and with their QA. Thirdly, accidentally giving us 4K Weaver shards as a ploy to make us spend our gold promo credits and limited resources to upgrade her, only to nerf her in the next patch to make her lose charges faster. Yeah, I don't think it was a nerf. I think it was a bug. Just based on the reports that some people are saying that these Weaver, she's not losing the charges like before, or she's doing the charges like before, like it's supposed to work in the raids, but not necessarily doing that in arena. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've asked the devs for clarification. Hopefully they make a public statement, say, hey, this was a bug on Weaver, or hey, this is a nerf on Weaver. Hopefully we get some clarity on that. But at this point, based on what I'm hearing from the community, I would guess that it is just a bug here. I bet they're going to pretend this is not happening and stay calm, that they're not aware of it. Despite hundreds of videos out there as proof, my guess is that they're hoping we forget about these changes. Then these bugs will not get fixed at all. Like the President Loki costume. Yeah, what is going on with the President Loki costume? I don't think they mentioned it got fixed. I don't know if it's available in the game. I don't remember actually. So yeah, what is going on? If you guys know what's going on with the President Loki costume, has it been active for you? Let me know in the comments. We did not even get at least full refunds and credits for purchasing his costume. Isn't selling us something to take it away from us paid for illegal and a scam? Yes. We should get our President Loki costume back, but I'm not sure if it's working. I don't remember the last time it worked. So they should be doing something about that. That is true. So, but I think they're just bad. I don't think they're malicious. And maybe some of the offers and the way they're doing these events and stuff like that are on purpose. But as far as these bugs, I don't think they're malicious with it. I think they're just, bad at checking their work. Greetings, Brother Valley from East Tennessee. What is up, brother from Central Northern Texas? I guess that's where I'm at. Just noticed your Newsweek video header closing in here. 200 video. Pretty excited. Wanted to thank you for being a cornerstone of our community full of positivity and encouragement. Thank you, brother. Any big plans for number 200? No, and I hadn't actually thought of it till now. So Real did ask me around when the second anniversary is, and I told him I think it just passed. He's like, well, let me know about the third one. I forgot about the 200. 200 is a big milestone, so maybe we'll do something for this 200 milestone since it is coming up before the third anniversary. So good plans. Let me know what you guys want to see, though. I think in the past we've had a dev interview to celebrate a big anniversary. We've unleashed a new game mode. Unfortunately, it was real-time PvP, which I liked, but not a lot of the community liked. About a third of the community liked it. The rest didn't really like it or was indifferent to it, but I thought it was good. So we've done different things to celebrate big milestones on the weekly news update. If there's anything else that you guys want to see, let me know. I would like to make it a big special one because that's a lot of weeks that we've been recording these videos. All right, hello, good afternoon. What is up? Hello there. I hope you're doing well, staying warm. What's your advice on the number of tunes needed to build concurrently? I'm currently level 72. Usually I try to focus on 2 or 3 characters, maybe one team if I'm really pushing it. But that is what I do. There's not enough resources to build a lot of teams at the same time. I currently have these completed teams: Unlimited X-Men, X-Force, Rebirth, Bionic Avengers, Young Avengers, Darkhold. But I feel like spreading myself too thin, going at snail's pace, trying to get them all built up. Should I focus on 2 teams or 2 tunes instead? If so, which teams? And since I just completed my Darkhold team and I need to get MILF and ISO 8 class, what's your suggestion? So a couple different questions here. I would focus on building one team at a time. If you want to really spread and go 5 characters, you can push it, but 2-3 characters for me is probably all I can push, especially if we're talking in terms of levels and things like that. So 2 or 3. If you're looking for gear and they're different class types, so like a controller and a support, and or different classes, and they're using different gear or different ISO 8. You could farm a bunch of characters at once, but I wouldn't focus on too many different teams at once because you are going to spread yourself too thin. Now, as far as what is the next team you should be building, it really depends on what problem you have in the game right now. If you're having a problem with Arena, like I said for the previous question, my rankings for teams goes like this. I would finish up, make sure to have a solid Arena team, make sure all your raid teams are done, so all those different origin traits, you could beat every single one of them, or have a solid team that you and your lane mates can beat that no restriction, and then start going crazy on whatever mode you like. I think Crucible is a lot more important than War, but if you enjoy War, the rewards aren't as good. But if you enjoy it, build up your War teams, because again, this is a game. This should be for fun. And it shouldn't be about doing what's the most efficient if doing something else is gonna make you have more fun. So it's fun should be a big thing at the end of the day. So go with whatever team you need. It's gonna be a different answer for everybody, but start with Arena. Make sure you got your raid teams. After that, it looks like you're building Gamma. So if you're not sure, if you looks like you're missing Gamma. So if you don't have Gamma, looks like the Gamma event is coming back very soon. So start to get your Red Hulk and build with the rest of your Gamma teams. All right, as far as ISO 8 class for MILF, I think the best class for her is going to be Striker. Now, initially, I had a skirmisher tag on her because that focus just wasn't high enough to make sure that land that ability block on the opposing Morgan Le Fay reliably. But as we've gotten more focus, we've gotten passive like that Red Hulk passive that give more focus to the entire team, or it gives more focus to additional horsemen. Well, she hasn't needed that additional focus, and I've switched her back to striker. So both of those would work. Depends if you need the focus, do skirmisher. If you don't, striker is going to be the better class for her. So it depends as far as which is the best for you. A couple questions unrelated to each other. Why do we hoard for any why do we hoard for anyway? Sometimes it doesn't make sense. My second is what tunes do we level up first when we get a gear increase? Just wondering. All right, so hoarding is just to complete these events. The devs have designed these events nowadays that if you have some previously saved currency, it will give you advantage over someone that's starting these events at 0. So that's why we hoard. You know, if you have to open gold orbs, and if you've opened your gold orbs as you get them, well, when these events come around, you won't have the maximum amount of points. So that's kind of where the game has evolved. You got to hoard a lot of stuff in the game to maximize these events. It's kind of a design of their events that they're running. It's kind of a design of a lot of things that we don't really need in the game, and it's just kind of how the game has evolved. So if you want to be really efficient and maximizing the events, you probably should hoard stuff. If you just want to get the stuff right away, then just open it right away. You won't max out these events, but you'll at least get stuff sooner. I think it's a little more beneficial to wait till we get these events and open it then, though. And what tunes do we level up first when we get a gear level increase? Just wondering. It's going to be a different answer for everyone, brother, but the tunes that you need the most. And like I said with previous questions, build up your arena teams first, is my opinion, then build up your raid teams, and then after that, it's up to you. And then obviously, if there's a team you just like, let's say you just like this Masters of Evil team. Even if Crucible's not the most important game mode, it's a pretty important game mode, but even if it's not the most important game mode, you like this Master of Evil team, build them up, because enjoyment, fun should be the priority at the end of the day. So build the teams that you need, though, and then start working on other tunes. So your arena teams, if they're not doing as much damage, especially your characters that are based on their stats. If there's a character based on their stats, like your damage dealers, like your healers, you probably want to build them up first. If the character is based on their kit, like maybe a Kingpin or a Emma, you could probably build them up a little later. They'll still give you that same value without all those extra stats there. All right, and last but not least, Valley, hope everything is good with you. What do you think about Scopely making a new store? I'm close to 30 million TCP and have many orbs that I don't need. What if in the store you can trade 2 green orbs for 1 purple orbs? That'll help with hoarding, as well as players allowed them to actually use the orbs. If they have, they could be a forge as a non-playable character, he could just be in the store. I like that. That's been a suggestion for a while. I have a store that we could trade in our lower tiered gear and orbs and things like that for higher tiered stuff at a pretty bad conversion rate, because it would be too easy to get all that stuff. I don't know if 2 to 1 would be good enough for Scopely. I think they would want a bigger conversion rate, maybe like 5 to 1 or 10 to 1, because green orbs, if you've been playing for a while, you don't really need that stuff. But the purple, and even the purple orbs as well. But after a while, you'll be able to trade that stuff up for your orange gear and your teal gear, and then just that conversion gets people are gonna get a bunch of teal gear right away because of all the green orbs that we've been getting over the years that just we can't use. So I do like this. The conversion rate might need some tweaking though, but it'll be awesome. Do this not just for orbs, but for your gear as well. And what I would like from orbs is an open all button or a slider that we could open maybe 100 orbs or 150 orbs or all of the orbs. Let me choose. That is what I would like for these orb openings and the buttons for all that stuff. But that is it for this video, guys. We've got a few things going on this weekend. A lot of events coming up in Marvel Strike Force. A lot of events going on right now, and events that you need to save for. So save your power cores, guys. And good luck with all of these new nodes. We have some new heroes and villains chapters. They are live in the game right now. They should use your energy to get all of these warlord orbs for the current event. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. If you have a question that you want answered, well, maybe we can help. Join the Valley Club, guys. Join the Discord server. Join the Mailbag Questions or find the Mailbag Questions channel, and that is where you can leave your question for a future one of these videos. Thank you, guys. And again, everyone that left a question, thank you everyone that is watching, that is still watching. And if you're still watching, thank you very much. And if you haven't already checked me out on social media, check out some of the other videos. Check me out on social media. Check out my other channel if you're very into Marvel stuff. There's a new update dropping today, or a new season dropping today. That should be a fun one. I will see you guys next time, though. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.